The Indian Ocean, a vast stretch of water that holds the key to global trade, military power, and geopolitical influence. And right at the heart of it, India is poised to change the game forever. Welcome to the Great Nicobar Island Port Project, a estimated value of 72,000 crore to 81,000 crore rupees. This ambitious development project includes a transshipment port, an international airport, a power plant, and a township, aiming to transform the island into a major trade hub. A bold move to secure India's position as a dominant maritime force in one of the world's most crucial sea lanes. But is this a visionary step towards dominance, or a risky bet with potential consequences? Strategic significance: India's maritime power play. Located near the Malacca Strait, the Nicobar port is perfectly positioned to become a major maritime hub. Why does this matter? The Malacca Strait is one of the world's busiest trade routes, with over 25% of global trade passing through this narrow waterway. Right now, Colombo and Sri Lanka and Singapore handle a huge chunk of this traffic. But India's Nicobar project could change that, cutting costs, reducing delays, and making Indian exports more competitive. India's ambition is clear: transform Great Nicobar into a self-reliant transshipment hub. No longer would India need to rely on foreign ports. The project will ensure that Indian cargo is handled on Indian soil, giving India control over the flow of goods, saving millions in transshipment fees, and increasing its influence over maritime trade, countering China's growing influence. But it's not just about trade, it's about military power. China's growing naval footprint in the Indian Ocean is a direct threat to India's security. Ports like Gwadar, located in Pakistan, and Hambantota in Sri Lanka, are part of China's string of pearls, a strategy to secure naval access in the Indian Ocean. This gives China the ability to influence critical sea lanes and project military power into India's backyard. India's response? The Nicobar Project. It strengthens India's military and naval presence in the eastern Indian Ocean. By controlling key choke points like the Malacca Strait, India can not only ensure the security of its trade routes but also project military power and maintain regional stability. The Pasni Project and New Rivalry. Just as India strengthens its foothold in the Indian Ocean, another key development in Arabian Sea is underway. Pasni Port, located in Pakistan, close to Gwadar. Port of Pasni lies near the Iran-Pakistan border, east of China-backed Gwadar Port, and close to India's Chabahar Port, forming a key strategic maritime triangle linking Chabahar, India-Iran, Gwadar, China-Pakistan, and Pasni, US-Pakistan. For India, this is a direct challenge, particularly as China's USA and Pakistan influence in the region deepens. Nicobar counters this challenge by providing India with its own strategic maritime outpost, reducing the reliance on foreign-controlled ports and ensuring self-sufficiency in trade and defense. India can now monitor the Western Indian Ocean and project power in ways that keep China in check. The economic impact: cost reductions and logistics hub. Beyond the geopolitical chessboard, the Nicobar port will significantly benefit India's economy. By reducing transshipment costs, India can make its exports more competitive in the global market. The port will handle everything from containers to ship repair, turning Great Nicobar into a bustling logistics hub that attracts foreign investment and generates thousands of jobs. Imagine this: cargo ships from Southeast Asia heading straight to India, cutting out the need for costly detours via ports like Colombo or Singapore. India stands to save millions of dollars annually, all while boosting the national economy and creating a regional trade powerhouse. Natural disaster and tribal concerns. The risks. But there's a shadow hanging over this grand vision. Great Nicobar Island is situated in Seismic Zone 5, one of the highest earthquake risk zones in India. The island's geological location makes it vulnerable to earthquakes and tsunamis. The 2004 tsunami devastated this region, and the risks of another disaster are not far-fetched. The port's construction could also threaten the indigenous tribes of the island, including the Nicobarese and Shompen. With the influx of workers and development, the Shompen, who live in complete isolation, face exposure to diseases and the loss of their way of life. Critics argue that the government has bypassed legal frameworks like the Forest Rights Act and Andaman and Nicobar Islands Protection of Aboriginal Tribes Act, which protect the rights of these vulnerable communities. India's bold move for dominance. The Great Nicobar Island Port Project is a game-changer for India. The project promises self-reliance in maritime trade, strengthens India's military presence, and counters China's dominance in the Indian Ocean. It will cut costs, boost naval reach, and reshape trade across the Indo-Pacific. However, there are risks, natural disasters, and the displacement of indigenous tribes that need careful handling. India must balance its strategic goals with the responsibility to protect its environment and tribal communities. The potential is immense, but the stakes are high as India begins.